Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I got here. As if going on vacation with only my boring sister as company wasn't enough, she just had to find that box on the beach and get attached to that stupid rabbit toy. Okay, let's go back to the start. I'm Noah Wilder, and this is my story.
This is what I was expecting when I picked up The Last Mimsy as a DVD at a rental place when I was a kid. That's what I had gathered from the marketing. A lively little adventure about some kids who get superpowers and go on a magical journey to save the universe? Fun for the whole family. I expected the kids to have a great time. Who wouldn't want to find a magical box filled with fantastical toys and learn special abilities? One minute you're an ordinary nobody, the next you can teleport objects with your brain and speak the secret language of spiders. What if your plush rabbit could tell you the future? What if you unlocked the unseen geometry of the skies? What delightful sort of hijinks would you get involved with? What a marvelous world of mystery and possibility. Except what you actually get is a story where no one is having any fun. None of the characters want to be involved with this crap. The kids are slowly losing their minds and their touch with their own humanity, the mom is constantly on the verge of tears, the magical toys from the box start acting out on their own, the FBI gets involved, everybody is screaming and crying and begging for this curse to be lifted. I was like 10 years old, and when the film was over, all I could say was, that was a movie, alright. What was up with that? Who was behind it? Why is this story so miserable? The choices made here are simply baffling and haunt me to this day. Well, no more beating around the bush. Let's explore this madness together. Grab on to your mysterious, clairvoyant stuffed animals and follow me, because I want to talk about The Last Mimsy. The Last Mimsy is a 2007 science fiction kids movie, I think? Honestly, I can't tell if this was made for kids. It was marketed to kids, because it was marketed to me in 2007, and I was a kid, but I can't say that with a straight face. Okay, stick with me. We open with some children frolicking in a field in what you immediately understand is a utopian future. This adult here, the blonde lady, says that she wants to tell them a story, so they all sit down and then she starts narrating the story telepathically into their brains. Once upon a time, also in the future, but before the amazing future we were introduced to, so it's like the future past, the world was screwed. Scientists were trying to fix it, but the only way to do that was to send these deranged little care packages into the past, hoping that someone would come across them and succeed in their mission. Each box carried a Mimsy, and this is their last box, so that's where we get the title of the movie. We then go to the past, or the present, I guess, if you live in 2007. Because it's 2007. The kids are having science class with Dwight from The Office, though he has a real name and I just never learned it. And he is such a vibe. Socks with sandals, little hoop earrings, sitting crisscross on the desk. He's kinda giving gender goals. In this class also sits Noah Wilder, our boy protagonist, and he is about to take a science test. Earlier in the movie, someone had texted him the answers, meaning he had a chance to cheat, but he forgoes this chance in the name of doing things ethically. This is good for establishing some character. This is also, I think, the movie's first jab at technology. Cell phones are allowing kids to cheat, which is bad. Everyone on the bus is hooked to their multiple devices, which is also bad. Noah doesn't use the phone to cheat, but he also never puts down his PSP. He is ethical, but not entirely pure of heart. At home, we're introduced to Emma, the girl protagonist, and she is a child prodigy, with her violin and her complex vocabulary. Noah is a little bit mean to her, which I cannot take seriously, because look at him. He's a wimp. He can't intimidate anyone. Even his sister isn't taken aback. This initial bullying put me off at first, because even though I appreciate stories about siblings learning a lesson and growing closer, I didn't want Noah to be mean for no reason. However, it is quickly dropped, so I don't have much to complain about. The plot starts kicking when Emma finds a box washed up on the shore, and Noah helps her fetch it. This box is the one the scientist sent to the past at the start of the movie, and it contains a series of strange objects. A crystal slab with shifting geometric formations, an unidentified blob, a rock that breaks into smaller pieces, a shell with some gunk stuck on it, and the title of the movie, Mimsy, a Stuffed Rabbit. Now, finding a box of treasure on the beach would be a field day of excitement for any kid, but these two are kind of alarmed by it. Noah says to keep it a secret, so they shove it under their bed as they go to sleep, and when they do address it, it is only in whispering tones. The mom does catch them playing with the objects at some point, but when she asks to see it, the magic is gone. While the kids see shimmering crystal lines, the mom only sees a dull slab of rock. This only reinforces the notion that whatever was in the box, it is something that does not belong to the universe of the adults. The kids are the only ones who can understand it, and so they guard it like a terrible secret. Emma takes a liking to Mimsy, who communicates with her in gargled vibrations only the girl can understand. Mimsy teaches her things, such as how to operate the rocks into forming a floating portal, and the toy also reveals the future, letting Emma know of things that are just about to happen. Noah, on the other hand, puts the gunky shell to his ear and listens to its strange tune, and it seems to rewire his brain. Suddenly, he sees the world through a new sense of trigonometry, with lines in the sky telling him how to manipulate the spatial position of different objects around him. Pretty cool, huh? Well, not to these kids. For example, when Emma unleashes the portal, she sticks her hand into it, and it seems to dissolve into 1,000 shimmering pieces. Emma kinda likes it, but Noah hates that nonsense, pulling her away from the portal and admonishing her for risking her hand. When the boy later teleports a soda can with his mind, he doesn't even seem happy about it. He is lost in his own astonishment. But it only gets worse. Later in the movie, Noah is chilling in his bedroom when the toys start acting up. The crystal slab glows urgently and is pulled in by the unidentified blob with unforgiving magnetism. Noah tries to pull them apart, but the will of the objects is stronger, and they merge into a strange jaggedy shape, releasing a wave of power so unprecedented it leads to a statewide blackout. Emma is beckoned by the portal, attempting to look into it and seeing traumatizing visions of strange scientists and violent aliens. She can't pull away even if she tries to, and when Noah finally manages to free her from the contraption, she starts convulsing. The toys shift the kids' perception of their own reality. Noah sees lines in the sky that are visible only to him, and he can manipulate spiders with his speech. Not communicate with them because he can't understand them. He just tells them what to do. Even in this skill, he is alone. Emma listens to Mimsy's whispers, incomprehensible and possibly inaudible to anyone else, and they frighten her. Mimsy's words are innocuous at first, revealing to her that the plush knows her name and her preferences, but later, Mimsy starts talking about how the world is fated to end. Emma can't understand it. She's trying her hardest, but it's a lot to process, and the words burden her so much, all she can do is cry in silence. Noah is a little bit older and realizes that whatever they're going through, it's best that they don't mention it to others, especially not to grown-ups. This leaves the kids feeling isolated, with no one to count on but each other. Even as they grow scared of the toys, their pull is too consuming, and they can't bring themselves to throw them away. Emma does try to share a bit of that strangeness with the babysitter, But when the woman sees the girl's hand dissolve into the portal, she runs out of the house screaming. Speaking of the adults, they are also having a miserable time. The parents are watching as their kids grow into strangers right before their eyes. They don't play board games as a family anymore. They don't make s'mores or share meals like they used to. All the two siblings want to do is spend time alone with each other. Noah, a student who was mediocre at best in school, suddenly turns into a genius, presenting a science fair project that shocks the entire audience due to how advanced it was. And the parents had no idea he had it in him. They don't even understand what he's talking about anymore. And dude, the mom? She's living through a nightmare. She is the one who first notices the kids are acting strange, and she tries to talk about it with her husband, but he gently dismisses her. Still, the problem persists, with her kids only growing more and more distant, and she is feeling just so freaking miserable.
No, you're not getting it. David, stop it. Open your eyes.
No, I'm sorry. Look, this is all starting to feel too strange for me.
We just don't know where to turn, so
I'd just like you to stop.
Look at her. She is sobbing. She has been having one nervous breakdown after the other for 3 weeks. From the perspective of the parents, this is a horror film. The dad is skeptical at first, but he soon begins to feel just as worried as the mom. They're watching as their kids slowly morph into telekinetic, incomprehensible, self-isolating geniuses, and they can't do anything to stop it. No one knows what is going on, no one can bring them any answers. All they can do is hold on to what little structure they have left of their old lives and try to keep their children human. The mom tries to take Mimsy away from Emma, and the girl starts screaming, and the mom starts screaming, and the dad starts screaming, and Dwight from The Office is there, and I'm losing my mind.
Stop. David, please.
Oh my god, and then the FBI shows up, and everything gets like 100 times worse.
I want to speak to who's in charge!
Who is this movie for? It's too goofy for adults, it's too serious for kids, it's too dramatic to be an adventure, it's too whimsical to be a character-driven drama. Nobody is having a good time. Okay, maybe Emma's having a good time. When she's not crying about the slow and inevitable poison decay of the human race. What is the deal with the end of humanity even? Well, the movie's trying to have a message. I'm not sure it knows what the message is, but it's definitely trying. In an earlier scene, the science teacher is telling Noah's class about contamination. Pollutants, be them chemical, biological, or even cultural, can alter our DNA to the point where we lose our shared nature, and become nothing but a twisted reflection of what we once were. That's kind of what we're meant to understand happened to the people in the future. Their DNA became too contaminated, and humanity was dying. They sent out Mimsies to the past so that they could gather quote-unquote pure genetic material and use it to undo these hazardous mutations. Kind of. Because I don't think the mutations are physical. When, spoilers, Mimsy does return to the future, the narration goes on to say that the materials it had gathered got rid of the pollutants in our minds as well as our bodies.
Our precious quality of humanity had been turned off, but in Emma's tears was the instruction for an awakening.
And then the aliens from earlier were revealed to be humans in weird spacesuits, and when they take the suits off, they're normal. They look like regular humans. So the mutation was more of a mind thing, I guess? Like, we forgot how to be human? What was polluting our minds then? Was it tech? Because the movie tries to criticize excessive technology, but only for about 2 minutes. Then it's dropped. In fact, Noah is later rewarded for having played so many video games, because he has to hijack a car and drive it. And the reason he succeeds is not because Mimsy or the toys taught him how to do it, but because he had seen it done in a video game. Go figure. There's also a jab at, like, eating meat, I think? Because Emma, the purest soul in the universe, as chosen by Mimsy herself, doesn't like the thought that we have to kill animals in order to eat them. But that's also mentioned in, like, literally one scene, and then it's never brought up again. This movie has some weird new age stuff going on. The whole point of the science teacher character is that he and his wife went to Nepal once and had a spiritual awakening. So now they're all connected to the universe and stuff. Like, Dwight has dreams about mandalas and his destiny is linked with Mimsy's. The guy's wife even says that Emma is a type of mystical child, described in ancient Tibetan literature, which is wildly misinterpreting actual Tibetan mythology, and it's also some pseudo-science indigo children bullcrap. This is the kind of couple who would have a coexist bumper sticker. So, okay, the movie wants to teach us something. Humanity is going to lose its way, and the only chance we have of regaining it is if we start living with the same amount of purity and love as a child carries in her heart. A gifted child, that is. Because remember, Emma is a prodigy. So it's not just any dumb child, it's a particularly special child. But man, what a half-assed message. They do not develop this idea very well. Like I said, we don't even know what aspect of human society is being criticized. And I guess pseudoscience is real, and the only type of person who can save us has, like, a different colored aura or something. But, oh my god, none of that matters. Because this movie is very bad at spreading this message. You are not focused on learning to go screenless or to become vegan. You're too worried about the never-ending psychological torture these kids and parents are going through. So whatever. Emma cries on the rabbit and they send it back in time and humanity learns how to be nice again. And then we get to the credits, and I had a revelation. This movie was actually based on a science fiction story published in the 1940s. And that short story is really good. It's about how a bunch of toys from a time millions of years into the future fall in the hands of a 7-year-old boy and his 2-year-old sister. And these toys were designed to help the children of the future learn how to navigate the world. Except the way humanity sees the world millions of years from now is incomprehensible to us, because our culture and understanding of the universe changed so drastically, and only the children, with their pliable learning brains, are able to grasp those concepts. It is also a bit of a horror story from a parent perspective. The mom and dad notice the kids acting strange, speaking in their own made-up language, and no matter how hard they try, they can't connect with the toys in the way the children can. The kids are functioning on an entirely separate wavelength now, and with time, this difference grows so wide it separates the generations entirely, in every possible way. Then 60 years later, it was turned into an okay science fiction movie, with a weird new age twist thrown in for funsies. But reading the short story helped me see the movie in a new light. It does clarify where all the screaming and shaking and crying came from. The terror had been there all along. But it also made me see the story from a new angle. And that is the inherent trauma of growing up different. Sometimes you really are just an ordinary kid, and you go to school and you play your games and you do your homework and everything seems fine on the surface. And then suddenly you start to notice you don't connect with your peers anymore. Their games aren't as fun and their rules don't make much sense. You see things in a different way, you now understand, and the others can't grasp that when you try to show them. You see patterns where they see none, you care about details they don't focus on. Sometimes it's like animals can understand you better than your parents. Your sibling gets it, so you play together, despite your age difference. People tell you you should make other friends, but they don't see things like you do. Your parents are worried. They take you to the doctor, they have your brain scanned, they talk in hushed tones and cry when they think you're not listening. They don't understand you anymore. You're no longer the sweet baby they held in their arms when you were little. There's a teacher in school who notices you're acting different, and they try to talk to your parents too, but they can only do so much. No one can teach the others to see what you see, and when you try to share more of your world, you are shunned for it. The short story and the movie have different ideas on what happens next. In the movie, the kids complete their mission and Mimsy flies off into the space-time continuum, saving humanity in a future you will never live to see, and everything goes back to normal. The children are changed by the experience, but the family can be together again, and everyone carries on with their lives. The FBI leaves them alone, Emma and Noah can go back to school, and no one ever has to think about that weird box they found months ago at the beach. In the short story, the children understand the universe with such depth and craftiness they are able to travel to a different dimension entirely, and leave their parents behind with no remorse. Brother and sister, together in their weirdness, off to find other people who think like them, away from a family who doesn't understand them, moving on from a world they no longer belong to. And the short story hits me harder because no matter how much the parents wished, there's no way things could realistically go back to normal after that. Noah and Emma are not like everybody else. In the canon of the story, they're telekinetic freaks, but as a metaphorical interpretation, they could be anything else that makes you unconventional. And you don't just grow out of it or move on from it after one big act of unhinged strangeness. You carry that part of yourself with you forever. Heck, from a parent perspective, this story is just about the sheer terror of watching your children grow up. It's the fear that they will get into things you don't understand, learn about subjects you've never even heard of, talk in slang you can't make out, and suddenly they've become total strangers to you. They've moved on from the world you share together, and this is just as tragic as it is inevitable. But that's just me going insane. I don't think the movie wanted to teach us that. I think they wanted to make a fun, family-friendly sci-fi adventure film, and they only succeeded at the sci-fi part. Barely. I need to know if anyone else experienced this fever dream as a kid. Were you also shocked by how terrified everyone was all the time? Did you perhaps learn you should become a vegan? Because when it comes to me, the only thing I learned is that if you see a mysterious box washed up ashore, maybe the best thing you can do is stay away from it. Thank you for watching. Well, hello there. It was very nice of you to watch this video. Special thanks to my beautiful patrons for making videos like these possible. If you guys were a mysterious box I found on the beach, I would not regret bringing you home with me. If you have enjoyed the video, you can also help me out by clicking the like button, subscribing to the channel, and clicking the notification bell too. You can also follow me on a bunch of different places, such as Blue Sky, the website formerly known as Twitter, and my second channel. The link to all of those things will be in the description. Share this video with your friends if you're feeling extra generous. Feel free to leave a comment down below, especially if it is about how much you love The Last Mimsy. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!
In Tibet, they believe that there are extraordinary children with this very special knowledge. They are considered actually very rare souls, very gifted.
Girl, just say he's autistic.